and also choosing the right person for the today lecture, who is none other than Ramesh Kumar Garu. His exposure at the global level is really useful for the student community. And simultaneously, at the present, his ideology, present is modus operations also, his exposure very, very useful for the MBA students. Concern to the topic, job opportunities for the business management students, particularly in the COVID-19 as well as the COVID-21 pandemic situation. How many people are agree with me? Job opportunities at the COVID time abnormally increase, only subject to the one condition, that is what called how far we transforming ourselves. How far we transforming for the requirement of the business organizations. Reason, every business organization across the globe has been trying to digitally transforming. Amazon success story with the help of their logistic management digital platform, AWS, is an inspiration to the multinational companies, transnational companies, small and medium companies also. As a result, a digital transformation taking place in the particularly in the sphere of the business functions. That's why every business house now start to gear up themselves, to equip themselves, empower themselves towards the digital transformation. Particularly in the juncture like a Y2K problem at the time of the 2000, whatever the opportunities the Indians is grabbing across the globe, same opportunities almost all has started, same opportunities may be possible to get by the business student with only technical, what called technological literacy, computer literacy. Computerization is also not conventional computerization, but the internet technology applications operation is concerned, AI application is concerned, cloud computing is concerned, and digital platform build-up is concerned, analytics is concerned, those who are enabled to empower, definitely that myself definitely will assure you, you may get a wonderful opportunities with high compensation, no doubt about it. Definitely, today lecture is very, very useful for the student community. Reason, I know very well, they're all children, their mind is very, 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 thinking is with the phobia, with the fear, with the different type of the tension mount up in our mind. There is no offline classes. There is no what call other type of the industrial interactions without much what call other type of the events. With this, they have developed some fear about their future. My dear student friends, don't develop a phobia against the COVID-21 pandemic, right? Particularly, my point of view, only problems only give opportunities. Believe it. A management student develop innovation thinking, creativity thinking for the sake of their livelihood. Definitely, I assure you, definitely you may reach in the top stage in your chosen career. With this, I congratulate the Hindu College Management and my own faculty involving all these activities. With this, I hope this definitely this academic event and lecture definitely will give good insight for the student community as well as the teaching community. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir. The program is going to start in a short while. Before that, I am pleased to introduce the guest speaker of today's webinar, Sri V.V. Ramesh Kumar Garu, a certified trainer, national talent head, Udaan, a startup enterprise, having 33 years of global experience, which includes in Procter & Gamble as head of academics in Manipal Global University, and now working as a national talent head for Udaan. It is a startup enterprise in India. He facilitated several programs and seminars and had the privilege of interacting with thousands of participants across various sections of the society. He has thorough knowledge of the procedures at global level. With regard to the international business transactions and all that. He is a TIS certified trainer. His area of interest includes organization building, change management, leadership development, team alignment, and motivation to build up a talented team to meet organizational objectives. Our students are fortunate to have Sri V.V. Ramesh Kumar Garu as guest today, and definitely they will utilize your experiences, sir. Now, I request Sri V.V. Ramesh Kumar Garu to address the participants. Over to V.V. Ramesh Kumar Garu. Sir, please.
Thanks so much, Mr. Manish. And thanks for the kind words, and also from Mr. Murthy and Mr. One thing that I really liked in what they mentioned was about, this is not just for one particular event, which is COVID. For any kind of a challenge, I think the thinking process needs to be the same. And that is the essence of a manager, because as a leader, he's looking forward. He's looking at how does he take his organization and his team through difficult times and to emerge stronger. I think that's a core thought here. And also, as Mr. Sivaram Prasad mentioned rightly, digital revolution. It's all about how do you embrace technology, how do you embrace change and bring about something that is better than yesterday. So, in fact, I consider this, my honor, a big honor and a privilege as an alumnus of Hindu College and also Acharya Nagarjuna University to be speaking to the future generation of students here. I'd like to share whatever thoughts I have. I picked up as somebody who has worked across. We spent almost 3 decades plus in the consumer goods industry and consumer electronics industry as well, and also in academics over the last couple of years with Manipal. And now, in Udaan also, I do a very similar work about creating, trainings and developing the talent. So without much further ado, I'd like to get started on the topic for today. In fact, as Mr. Sivaram Prasad said, it's a very, very apt and timely thing, which is about exploring job opportunities. One of the top questions that keeps coming to me on LinkedIn, I have many young student friends as connections. One of the things that they keep asking me is, what is going to be the job scenario in a situation like this? Can you please explain or help in terms of how do we emerge successful and stronger from this? So when this was proposed to me by Dr. Ramna, I was very happy because it's a great opportunity for me to share with young students. In fact, I started my journey as a 20-year-old in the corporate world, and it helped me learn. After the initial few months, I started thinking of what is it that I had done, and then what is that I could do. So and which is leading to even today about the pandemic or the COVID-19 crisis. But again, every challenge has got a silver lining, and that's exactly what we will try to focus on during this the next 45 minutes. I'd like to cover what is the current situation? What are the challenges posed by the current situation? What is it that we need to do? What are the kind of behaviors that we need to inculcate? And how can we leverage digital or virtual platforms? And then I'll take the example of one platform called LinkedIn, which is a professional networking site, and how you can use it to your advantage to a much stronger and successful, amidst all these crises. So that's what I'd like to do. And the last 10 to 15 minutes, I'd like to leave it open for any questions, which I'd be very happy to answer. So that's about me. And then, as it says, yeah, I'm one among you. It is just that I had been there a few years earlier. So I'm a proud alumnus of both Hindu College as well as as a part of Nagarjuna University. So can we move forward, sir? The next slide. Yeah. So before we begin, I just have a quick question, and I'd like to make it a bit more participative because it's a dialogue rather than a one-way conversation. You can use your chat whenever enabled so that you can answer me. So what are you looking forward to in this session? Maybe the top few thoughts, so that at the end of it, let us look back and see if I was able to answer your questions. And if there are, if not, probably we'll find another way how we can communicate. So is it possible to have some answers, Mr. Manish?
Yeah. On behalf of students, let me put one answer for this, Mr. Manish.
Sure.
Most of the students may say that what are you looking forward to in this session is how do they prepare themselves for an interview in this situation, and will they get a job? These are the, I think, topmost questions that are there in the minds of the students, and they are looking forward for some path or some expectations, some throwing light from your side. As far as these two are concerned, one is how do they prepare themselves for an interview online, and whether will they get a job like their previous batch students. Probably because we interact very closely with the students. These are the two top-notch questions in the minds of the students. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. What I'll do is during the slides or the presentation, I'll definitely cover the second question, which is do we get jobs, or how do we get jobs? The second part about interview preparation, again, that's one of my favorite topic, having done, I don't know, a few thousand interviews across India and Southeast Asia. I'll try to cover it a little after that without a slide, but then I can give you what a typical interviewer in a corporate looks for, just to give you a flavor. I think both great topics. Sure. Okay, so then let's explore the second question first. Can we move forward?
Yes, yeah.
So, I think not much to talk about this, because every one of us has been, bombarded with a lot of information about this, both on, news media, print, TV, wherever, when we talk to people. This is something which is common knowledge, but still I thought I'll just quickly summarize this to dimensionalize the challenge, to let us know, how big is this, so that, we can mentally prepare for, so what is it that we need to do? What is the level of action that we need to put forward? So what hit us is a pandemic. What's a pandemic? Pandemic is, it's an infectious disease which has spread across the world. An epidemic is something which is confined to probably a country or, a smaller geography. Whereas a pandemic is something which is across the world. Right now, there is no country which is completely devoid of its effect. There is no region which is devoid of this effect. If you look at every country, whether big, small, developing, developed, or if it is, rich, poor, everything, every country has been impacted by it. And, the only comparable event which is similar to this is dating back to 1918, which is the Spanish flu. There are very, very few living members who can actually remember anything about it. So which means everybody that we are, we see now or we are talking to, they are also trying to find out more about this particular disease. Uh, Scientists have not been able to predict everything very clearly. So that's the level of challenge. We have dreams and dreams written about it, but then as we can see every day, it is being rewritten, revisited. So hence the challenge is multiplied by that. As we'll see in the coming slides, what is it ultimately leading us to? Yeah. So it is we are all learning to cope with it, because every situation, first there is a lack of knowledge, then as it hits us, then we try to gather more knowledge about it, then we try to formulate our responses, and then the formulations will translate into action, and then we learn and adapt. So this is exactly how even our management model also works, right? As a manager, you are literally trying to foresee what is going to be the challenge, and then try to formulate what is your organizational response to those challenges, prepare for it ahead of the challenge, and then implement those plans and see how it is working, and then take corrective actions. It is exactly the same. And here the impact, as we see, is varying by country, by economy, by industry. Some countries have opened up, some countries are opening up, some countries have now just started another wave of epidemic. So this is what is a challenge in front of us. So let us look at it from a slightly familiar angle or familiar spectrum. Can we go to the next slide, please? I'm sure as management students, I'm sure you are all familiar with this. This is the famous Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is something that we've all seen, learned multiple times. Why are we revisiting here? Because this crisis like this requires a human response. And then, typically our responses are falling within this frame. So I tried to use this to frame what are the things happening since the first wave, and understand a bit more about it, about this challenge. Yeah, one more click, please. So can you please click one?
Yeah, Ramesh, somebody is feeling that he's a technocrat. So some students, without their seriousness or ignorance, innocence, somebody is trying to overwrite on the slides. Because we do accept immaturity of the student. But let me tell that particular person that he can utilize his technocrat skills for something else, and he can develop in his life, he or she, instead of doing this thing which is disturbing the other students. So I hope that that person, whoever is doing it, is not doing a crime, but he is doing some mischief which is disturbing the program. So if he is not interested, that student is welcome to leave the meeting. Thank you. Continue, Manish sir.
Sir, over to Ramesh Kumar, sir.
Sure. So essentially, it all boils down to the basic needs, because in a situation like this, if we can look at it from our own personal lives, what we see is that suddenly, everybody is confined to their homes, asked not to. For the first time, we heard something called social distance or physical distance. All the time, as humans, we want to be socializing, we want to be among people, but here we are being advised not to venture out, not to mingle with people, to reduce the risk of infection. So what happens here is that we are all trying to focus on what are our basic needs, because we just need to survive for today. If we survive today, then tomorrow maybe the day is much better, and then we can do something better, and then we can earn money, we can earn fame, we can earn whatever we want to. But then the most important thing is to survive today. So that is what, even in the Maslow's theory, we talk about basic needs, which is what is your physiological need? Have food, have water, and have a roof above you to protect you, and some basic your security and safety is assured. This is exactly what everybody is. If you look at the wave one, you saw a massive migration of workforce from big cities back to their homes. Is it that they had some assured job back home? No, none of them had anything. Even in some cases, the agricultural season was also not in progress. Still, they said that rather than being in a big city without any job, with uncertain, subsistence. So then it might be better off going back to our hometowns. At least we have a house, we have our people. So that is the kind of basic need people were looking at. People didn't mind walking for 1,000 kilometers. There are stories where people didn't mind bicycling for 1,000 kilometers because they didn't have money, there was no transportation. So all these actually point us down to this focus on basic needs. And next click, sir. So safety became a primary goal. And then the next priority is the psychological need of belongingness. Because look, I think, can you please go back?
Yes.
Back in the previous slide itself. Yeah. So I think earlier in the introduction, even Mr. Chivanta told about it, I think it is fear of unknown and unseen. For example, if we are walking in dark, there may be nothing, but then, we are always hesitating, thinking of, okay, what might be coming our way? What is it that we haven't seen? What is it that we haven't known that might come our way? So that is when you want the strength of something else or someone else. So that is where the psychological need of belongingness, because the confidence as an individual became low, that you can face this situation. So you are looking at, is there a group, is there a community as a part of which we can face this situation much better. Maybe together we may have a slightly better knowledge about it. So that is where this entire fear of unknown and unseen has worked. So nobody is at this point of time, or I'd say large majority, probably 99% of the humanity today is just thinking of these basic and physiological, psychological needs. There are very few who have the money, who have the safety for tomorrow. They are looking at both esteem and self-actualization needs. So that is a kind of a challenge that we have. So as youngsters, as students, if you are finding yourself in this situation, nothing to worry, because this is what many people are going through. So you're not alone. You have a large number of people, even grown-up people, feeling the same. So just relax and then start thinking about how do we face this challenge. And that is what we are going to see, especially related to the job, in the next few slides. Can we move forward, sir?
Yes, sir.
So this has been, now we understood what is the situation. So what has changed because of this? And especially with relation to the business or the industrial scenario. Now, a lot of processes have gone face-to-face versus virtual. If you look at even a doctor, or the first thing and primary thing is health. Even you can't get a doctor appointment because most of the doctors are now preferring to see virtually rather than face-to-face. Unless it is absolutely necessary, if it is required for some surgery. Even surgeries are being postponed where they are elective. So businesses are also not far behind. For example, I'm from the sales and marketing industry. Sales calls have gone from being face-to-face to virtual. Earlier, hardly anybody could think of a virtual sales call, or it was done only out of absolute necessity. So it's always that these sellers would want to meet the buyers and have a face-to-face conversation, because there are a range of discussions that can be had. and each could assess what is the other feeling or what is the other seeing. Because as you all know, communication is only partly verbal, but it is more of the body language, etc. So hence, there is a lot of shift that has gone from face to face to virtual. This is a big change that has happened, and we will see how we need to use this knowledge to our advantage. The second thing is about apprehension versus confidence. There are a lot of economic activity which happened because of the confidence. There are surveys. If you're all on Google, if you can actually Google consumer confidence India, you can actually try and learn a lot about this. It is about companies preparing to produce goods based on this confidence that that results in a whole economic activity. If the consumers feel confident, how will the consumer feel confident? When they have a very assured source of income. So that means, okay, for example, some people take loans to buy cars, to buy houses, because they have a confidence that with my skill, I'll be able to have this job, which will pay me X lakh rupees this year, X plus 10% lakh rupees next year, like that. Based on that, they also make investments or make purchases, and hence that sets in motion the entire industrial activity. But here, because of this apprehension, because of not knowing, I talked about fear of unknown and fear of unseen. Coronavirus is something that none of us has actually seen. We have seen only the effects of it. So in these times of apprehension versus confidence, lot of industries, lot of businesses that work on confidence are actually taking a big hit, which again we will see in the next few slides. The third one that I want to talk about is short-term versus long-term. Now, people are not talking about long-term. People are not thinking long-term, because it is about surviving today. It is about not getting infected, not having to go to a hospital, on ventilator. So people are very, very, very short-term focused now, and there is nothing wrong about it. It is how the situation is. But because of this, again, any business which has a long-term outlook is something that has got impacted big time during this period. And even the needs, as we said, right now most needs are basic, which is about food, medicine, and of course water is something that we of course need, electricity, and then some of the basic communication devices, because a lot of things have gone online, even education. So we are looking at a lot of things have moved into basic needs earlier, which were not basic needs. Earlier, having a electronic communication device like a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop or a desktop was optional. It was good or better if you had it, but then even otherwise also you could go ahead and have your learning. But now a lot of these things have moved to basic needs. Broadband has moved to a basic need. It is no more an evolved need. So that said, the focus again is on basic needs, ensuring that most of the focus is on how do we get our basic needs. Anything which is in the ladder of evolved, for example, lifestyle, luxury, or fancy travel, all these are evolved needs. So these are all either being postponed, even somebody can afford, but then keeping the risk in the mind, people are not traveling. People are not going for their big vacations, international vacations. So everybody is thinking about today, about tomorrow. So that is the basic need focus which is evolved. Because of which, again, industries or businesses which are focused on evolved are again, are taking a hit. And near versus far, with the government also restricting movement. So most of the things, for example, people would travel far earlier to get some of their purchases. But now the neighborhood businesses are what are really thriving, because today there are restrictions in terms of how many hours the markets are open. So in the next 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever time the market is open, I just need to go get it quickly and come back. So any businesses which have or which essentially depend on distance are again impacted. So why we need to know all this is about then how can we plan, how can we prepare for this? Where do we need to focus for our jobs? So that is the reason why I am actually covering all this, which will become a bit more clearer in the following slide. Can we move forward, sir? So here we touch these two. So what does that mean for the job opportunities? What does it mean? There are a lot of theories going on. The second wave is more deadly than the first wave, which is evident. But what is going to be the impact? In fact, about an hour back, I was watching the television wherein they're saying that in the industrial output in April was 134% versus last year. So I think there are different estimates. Some people say that because now this year in the second wave, rural India has got a lot of impact. So they feel that the recovery might be slower. So there are many theories going around, but let us see how it is going to pan out in reality. What is not in doubt is the industrial activity got affected and the full recovery will take time. It could be few months. And again, Indian economy has shown a lot of flexibility even after the first wave to recover. There were a lot of pundits who predicted that India economy will take much longer to recover. But then, the spirit of Indian enthusiasm, what we did was we showed that we can recover much faster. And my personal thought, and also what the indications are that we will recover sooner. So it is not going to be dark night. There is going to be the morning very soon. But even within this, the encouraging thing is there are some sectors which continue to be stronger versus others. I think this is where, if you look at the last slide and then this slide, I'm actually trying to bring it down to a few industries where you can start looking at as, let me try and explore these for my job opportunities. So one among that is healthcare, no doubt, whether it is pharmaceutical, because medicines are, everybody wants that safety of healthcare. Even the health service providers, like hospitals, etc., they are all, everybody is doing well. FMCG, during this period, a lot of expenditure which probably would have gone to lifestyle, etc. People have started spending more on their daily needs. It could be food. You've seen thousands of videos on people experimenting with food and then showing. So there are FMCG at the worst continues as it is, and better thing is it is actually growing. Most of the FMCG industries are showing pretty good results because still people need to take bath, people need to use daily products. Within that, what has happened is if there are premium or luxury products, like for example, there are skin creams, etc., probably those are which are going a bit slow. But there are other things which were never consumed, like for example, sanitizers. Now, almost every FMCG company has started producing sanitizer, which was not a part of their earlier portfolio. So, and masks. So these are things which have come up to take place of probably segments which are not doing great earlier. And e-commerce. Now, almost everything can be bought off e-commerce. So it's an industry which is doing very well. Agriculture, and if you are following the government food procurement, etc., I think thanks to good monsoons, we've been having very good agriculture output. This year also the prediction is for good monsoon. And among all this despair, I think God has been kind to to give us that benefit of having good agriculture say, industry, and which will definitely result in much faster recovery later.
Sir,
there are industries which are not doing so well. Again, these are part of the the lifestyle, luxury, or longer, farther. So travel and tourism, this is hit very badly. People are not traveling unless it is absolute essential. Hospitality, like your hotels, hotel industry, restaurants, etc. These are also pretty badly impacted. Lifestyle, all the luxury goods, automobiles. People, when travel outside itself is restricted, a lot of people are thinking, why should I buy my next car, or why should I upgrade from my two-wheeler to a four-wheeler? So a lot of decisions are being postponed either because of loss or cut in income, or even when people have money, they are looking at what is the immediate need and then postponing these purchases. And real estate, again, these are all the industries which are taking a bit of backseat. So if you need to work out your strategy in terms of, so where do I try to get my first job, then definitely the focus should be on the industries on the left side of the screen. And if your aspiration is to be in one of the industries on the right side of the screen, you can still, it is not that you cannot and you should not, but expect a much longer time for you to realize your first job aspiration. Because of the uncertainty, the hiring has got definitely slowed down in these industries. There will be a recovery, and as the recovery starts, probably they'll start hiring. But it is just that you need to be very clear about what is it that you need to be prepared for as you try and get your foothold in those industries on the right, which is travel, tourism to real estate. Okay, so even in these industries on the left side, there is hiring, but then at a much lesser level. So how do we target these industries? I think that is something that I would like to cover in the next part of my my conversation. Okay, so can we move forward?
yes.
There is a very famous saying which is, what got you here is not enough to get you further. This is a title of a wonderful book also. So I'm just taking this particular statement to show what is it that we need to do. So look at here, there's a picture here which talks about, there's a small boat and then there is a giant ship. The small boat is okay for very, what you call as squalid waters, they are very calm waters. But then sea is not at all calm. There is a lot of roughness in the sea. So there, these small boats will not work. So you need much bigger ship to set sail. The same way, because the current situation is a bit choppy, so and it is very challenging. So you also need to relook at your what you are doing so far as a student or as your early job hunting strategy, so that your strategy remains strong enough even for these choppy waters of a sea or an ocean. I have crystallized it into 5 actions that you need to you need to follow so that you can continue to succeed now. The first thing is, first analyze. Have a very clear analysis of your own self first. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities outside and what are the threats? If you haven't done that, I think you need to search for SWOT. Again, Google is great. You can have a lot of online material, or you can approach your professors who can guide you on this. But it is important to very clearly have that SWOT for yourself if you haven't done so, so that your actions can be much sharper. Your efforts can be much sharper. After you have done your own self, then you need to look at what is the, do an industry analysis. What is happening in the industry? Is it something which is growing? It is not growing? Is it likely to grow in the short term, next 6 months, next 1 year, or it takes longer? What has been the hiring strategy? Have they been depending on a lot of automation, reducing the number of people? So there are many, many things that you need to look at once you identify about the industries that you are trying to focus on. And then also have an analysis in terms of what are your aspirations, what are your life goals, what do you want to do? You want to be a very big, managing director of a huge company, whether it is Indian or multinational. If that is the aspiration, then the level of preparation, which is the next part, needs to be very different. Because again, you cannot sit in a small boat and hope to get into a big ocean. Bigger the company, bigger the challenges. Please understand that. So if that is your aspiration, please be willing to prepare for it much ahead so that you are able to make your boat transform into a ship so that it can sail the rough seas very clearly. So it's a very, very important step, this preparation, because this is where you are going to identify and match your strengths with the industry opportunities and then come up with your action plan. So the next part is communication. Communication, I would mean, talk to people, talk to your faculty, talk to your peers, talk to your seniors who are already in the industries, talk to industry experts, read, follow people who are industry experts. So once communication is a two-way process, it is not just that, if I'm talking only, I'm communicating. No, when I'm absorbing also, I'm communicating for my next step. Have a clear execution discipline, because this is why, again, I'm saying what got you here. As a student, it could have been okay to postpone some of these actions. Like, for example, okay, let me read this book. I need to read. Okay, no, I'll do next week. I'll do probably 2 weeks later, because there is something I'm not feeling like it, or I have something else that I need to do. But here, no, you don't have the luxury of postponing a lot of things. You need a lot of execution discipline. As a student, sometimes I didn't understand the importance of this execution discipline. But once I started growing within my organization, I understood how critical it is. So you start early on this, and it will be a very, very good support and colleague for you as you grow in your professional careers. And once you act, or once you do something, then it may succeed, it may not succeed. So that is where you will learn. Every what they call as failure also teaches you exactly as much as what the success teaches. So there is no need to feel bad about not succeeding, because you understood how not to do one thing. So this is where it should lead to the next step, which is the adaptation part. If you learn and then forget it, it doesn't help. You should learn and then adapt based on that. For example, you tried to approach a particular company in a certain way, it did not work. That's okay. So, but you understood what doesn't work. So then next time you should change your strategy, and then you need to communicate that way and see how it works. And then finally, it is about action. It is not just about thinking. So don't stop yourself with plans and with just some wide or vague roadmaps about how to do it, but action is what is required. Hope this is clear. So can we move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
So just a quick question. How many of you are on social media? I'm sure the current days youth, they follow social media quite a lot. So I just wanted to understand, I assume that many of you are on social media.
Yeah, you are right. Many of them are on social media, especially WhatsApp. They play with WhatsApp like anything. If we consider that as social media, and they have Facebook accounts, probably these are the two they are very active in.
Yeah, probably that covers the next part of it. If you can click once more. So that was my second question in terms of so what social media account, what social media do you have your accounts? Yeah. So I think the bigger thing that we can look at is Facebook, and some people might be using other social media also. Okay, so can we move to the next slide? And given the time, probably let me also assume that the social media is basically used for communicating among friends or for knowing some of the things. But what I would want to highlight here is, so the role of social media in your job search is much, much, much bigger than what many of you may have known or seen. So probably in the next 2-3 slides, I'd like to take this thought forward. So can we move to the next slide, please?
Yes, sir.
So now, as I said, there is a lot of activity, commercial activity, which has moved virtual. Even as Mr. Chivan Prasad said that it's all about digital revolution. So here, this is just about the right time when we look at our digital activity from a different viewpoint. So as I said, most business processes have moved online. It is not just about working, but even hiring has gone online. In fact, there are people that have been hired in the last 6 months who have not seen their office, who have not met another colleague physically in the office. 6 months. So that is how the hiring has gone. Now everybody is working from home. So because of that, your hiring or your search for your next job also need to go virtual. It also needs to go digital. Otherwise, you're waiting for much longer thing till face-to-face interviews come back. So you need to have that digital focus. And again, here when I'm saying digital focus, I'm particularly talking about 4 very popular social media. Facebook, as Dr. Ramna said, is one place where a lot of people have their accounts. And then below is the Instagram. Again, a lot of people use them for entertainment or just be in touch with friends. But it is much, much beyond that. Then the third one there on the right side is Twitter. Again, this is a lot of people use it as a one way. It's like I just need to receive some news or what people think about it. Again, I see that a lot of people follow celebrities in Twitter. And finally, at the top is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for those of you who may not know, it is a professional networking site. And these are all great platforms because when there are so many followers, almost every company has gone on one or all of these sites to be in touch with their consumers, to be in touch with the prospective employees. So that is where you also need to be. Among these, while Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are essentially social media which are not focused on professional connection or networking, LinkedIn is one which is very, very professional network biased. So I'd like to share with you how you can have your next job search using LinkedIn. And being on LinkedIn with about maybe around 16, 17,000 connections, I get a lot of questions, a lot of people trying to connect, asking about, how can we get a job. So I see that is a very popular platform. And if you are not there, I would advise you to be to learn about it and then have an account on LinkedIn. I'll show you how you can leverage this. So can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah, so I'm taking LinkedIn as an example and see how we can go about it. Yeah, next slide. So here I've come up with about 15 steps which we can use to be effective on a LinkedIn for job search. And this will increase your chances of getting hired rather than wait for the traditional methods to give you result. So what is the first thing? As I said earlier, make your SWOT analysis. Here you need to identify what are your interests and strengths. These are two different things. My interest is in a consumer goods industry. My interest is in a healthcare industry. My interest is in hospitality industry. But am I having the right strength for that? I think those are things that we need to assess. And once you have that, here I'm going to talk about it like a like a recipe. Sorry. The second step is to identify industry sectors which are in sync or which are in close connection with your match with your interests and strengths. For example, a lot of people you may say that no, I'm a very communicative person. A lot of people call it as I'm a very talkative person. In sales and marketing, you don't need to be very talkative, but you need to be communicative. So that is my interest. Then can I look at an industry which requires my communication skills? I'm interested there. This is my strength. Can I look at an industry which actually leverages on my communication skills? So that is, once you establish that, the third step is about shortlisting companies which are growing. Again, all this information of whether they are growing, whether they are hiring, or whether they are known as a good learning grounds through these their social media accounts, through LinkedIn itself. Just like in Facebook, you have something called, have a connection. So here in LinkedIn, you can follow a company, you can follow a person who works in that company. There is no restriction on following somebody. You can follow anybody. So then you will see all the messages that are being put out by that corporation, or that company, or that senior leader or manager. For example, I'm trying to think Nestle's managing director, because I'm in the FMCG industry. My interest or my connections are all within that sphere. India managing director called Mr. Suresh Narayanan. Day for yesterday, he has put out a post which talks about his decades in the FMCG industry, and then what are his experiences right from those days. So when we read that, you can understand in terms of what is it that he has done to grow in that sector. We may not write about what he did when he was searching for that job, but once you know about what the company is doing, once you know how the company is doing, how that individual is doing, then you can actually form some or identify some topics or some points on which you can move to the next step, which is, again, I said, follow some key leaders in those companies or in the departments. If you are into finance, follow the CFO of a company, follow some senior finance directors of those companies, follow some thought leaders in those industries. So then you will start learning about what is happening. Please stay with the previous one. So then you will start understanding what is the progress, what is happening within that industry, and then you will start finding some place where you can leave a comment. Somebody does a post, and then on that leave a comment, which is a brief but very carefully drafted one, because it's a professional network. You can ask questions, you can seek clarifications. That way, they will also see that, okay, you may be somebody with a 30-year experience, or you may be a job seeker, but then a very interesting comment is something that most of the people will respond there in the comment section, saying that Yeah, it's a very good thought. It's a very different way of looking at it. Share your perspective. Then if you got a reply, thank them. And then you add a further comment on that if it is appropriate, or you can ask a further question also. And once that kind of a communication has been established, then you send them a connection request. Please remember, they are all busy people, and only a part of the time in a day they are on LinkedIn. So they may not accept every single request that comes their way. So they need to know that you are somebody with, if they accept that connection request, it is good for you and it is good for them also. They also try to learn. For example, I have got probably hundreds of students as my connections. I look to learn from them because they bring a very different perspective. As students, you bring a very different perspective to some of the challenges or some of the problems businesses face. So, and then if accepted, please thank them and then keep the communication very professional. And once you are a connection, then you can have a direct communication with them and a greater interaction. So which you can actually use to ask them very specific questions, or you can share your analytical paper or a small research paper, need not be very long, very lengthy. Maybe one or two, for example, you read some news about economic recovery, or something about FMCG industry doing well. So you do some research and then make a small 1-page, 2-page report and share with them for their feedback. A lot of leaders do appreciate that kind of an initiative, and they will, among thousands or probably lakhs of people, they will look at you as somebody who is taking that initiative. This is very, very, very important. And this is something that can step jump your chances of getting a job. Can we move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Done.
So share it with your contacts and then seek their guidance, or you can even seek their guidance, their comment, or even feedback so that you can improve. And be open for criticism. There is nothing that you need to be perfect. So if they critique, it is not criticized because no senior manager would criticize, they would critique. So if you think that your viewpoint is still the right thing, share in a very logical way how it is justified. And after a couple of interactions, then ask them, is it okay? I'm very much interested in, contributing to the vision or progress of your organization. Can I have a conversation with you? So if by the time, if that senior leader looks at you as somebody with a lot of interest and potential, then they will spend probably about 10-15 minutes trying to discuss with you what are your thoughts. And if they find you good, then they are whenever there is a hiring that happens within that organization or within that department, I'm sure you would be one of those candidates that they would definitely want to recruit. But if that opportunity doesn't come up immediately, absolutely don't get disheartened, because this is a time-taking process. And my understanding or my sincere listenings with you, because last 2 years have not been great. But again, for those people who are willing to face the challenge, there are opportunities. Understand that a suitable position also needs to be available when you are approaching or when you are wanting. So try. That is where learn, adapt, and act. That all the 5 things will come into place. Keep trying. I'm sure you will get your first job faster than many others in your same cohort. So these are the 15 steps that I have for job search for LinkedIn. Can we move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in summary, this is my last slide. I'm trying to just quickly run through. First, understand that this is a very unprecedented situation. Not many people preparing for a third wave. So I'm hoping and expecting that, if any, the impact of a third wave will be much lower. Hence, economic activity will continue without getting impacted much. Realize that job search needs to be more structured than ever. It is not that I just sent four applications, 5 applications there, and then I'm expecting that to materialize. No, that is not going to work. You need to be more proactive, more structured than ever. And as I said earlier also, chances are absolutely there for those who are committed and disciplined, who are going to look at this as my, this is my next test, I need to pass. Change your strategy. Go virtual if you have not yet. Leverage the social media. As I said, if you are earlier there only for information and entertainment, now you need to change your strategy. You need to go there with a mindset that these are my tools to get my next job, and leverage them very efficiently, very creatively. In fact, I will show you a very creative video, 2-minute video. That's one of the job aspirants has posted on LinkedIn, and it was amazing. And then create the right connections, engage purposefully, either personally or physically or via social media. And finally, my single message is that I have seen this, and this is based on my experience of at least 20 years of recruiting and then seeing thousands of people both in India and abroad. Those who put in their best efforts will still win. Not can, I will say, will still win. So move to the next slide, please. Thank you, sir. So all the very best. I'm sure this would have given you at least 1 or 2 points which you can take and put into action. And I'm sure you will get your first job much faster than many others who have not followed this method. So now I leave the floor for your questions via the chat box. And in the meanwhile, Mr. Manish, is it possible to play the link that I have shared of LinkedIn?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, only video is enough, sir.
Yeah. If you just click that, I think that should be.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I'm stopping the screen sharing, sir. Now I will share the video. Thank you.
As the video comes up, I'm just giving you a small perspective. See, this is one person who has done his hotel management course, bartender course from but then very well. But still, he did not get disheartened. What he did was he posted on LinkedIn. And he did a small, 1.5 to 2 minute video to show what are his skills, so that anybody who is on LinkedIn, in fact, the kind of views that this is getting is just amazing. I'm sure, though he posted it 2 days ago, I'm sure by now he would have got his first job. So can we see the video, please?
Yes, sir.
Start.
Sure. So it's a very short video, but it is not just about bartending, or it is not just, but how creatively he has used. He's not waiting for people to invite him or ask him, what can you do? He's showing that, look, this is what I can do. LinkedIn allows you to post videos. So if you're a finance professional, and you can talk about, you can make a small video of about 2 minutes talking about the impact of finance on the impact of COVID on country's finances. It tells that you are taking the first step, you are taking the initiative, and people, every senior leader really encourages this kind of initiative on part of job aspirants. Yeah. So any top questions that we can think of?
Sir, now one of our faculty member, Mrs. Shabana, she is going to represent the participants, sir, with the question. And the participant name is also going to be announced. Who is asking that question and all. So now I
Thank you, Mr.
request just within a short while, sir. Now I request our principal, sir, to speak on this occasion. Over to principal, sir.
I think Ms. Shabana needs to be unmuted.
Sir, principal, sir.
Yeah, I'm there, sir.
Okay, sir, matter.
Thank you, Manish. It's an excellent professional way of handling the situation. Before we further talk and understand each other and how the talk is useful to our students, I feel that let us go ahead with the question and answer session, sir, so that students are very much enthused and they are eagerly waiting. They are eagerly waiting for the interactive session. So after the completion of the question answer session, I'll just give me a chance to talk for 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now I request
Thank you.
our faculty member, Mrs. Sheikh Shabana, to take over the question and answer session. Shabana, madam. Sir, here one question is there.
Yeah, madam is coming. Is there, sir?
Yes.
She is coming. Yeah.
How will this online education help us to get a well-respected job when we don't have any physical presence to gain experience of work?
Very good question. In fact, that is the on top of mind for many.
This is from Pratik Kumar, sir.
Pratik, excellent question. Thanks for asking that. Over the last 1 year, 1.5 years, this has been a question that is on top of mind of many students. There are ways in terms of learning and in terms of showing. Let me talk about showing how you are capable first. I just showed you one example of how when there is no physical interaction, how one person was able to show what he's capable of on a social media platform called LinkedIn. In terms of learning, again, you can connect virtually with your classmates. Today, we have excellent tools like Zoom, Google Meet, etc., which are available. So where you can create that cohort, or where you can create a group where you can learn, and again, you can use similar platforms to demonstrate your ability to take up your first job. So that is what I try to show in the LinkedIn part also. What I would suggest is, please create an account on LinkedIn and then go through that. You will see that it is easy. Maybe you may not get so many views immediately. Don't do it for the sake of views. Put a sincere effort, keep doing it. I'm sure once you connect with people, you will get to the right number of people and right amount of exposure, which will get you visibility in spite of virtual classrooms and virtual connections.
Shabana, madam.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable information. The next question from a student called Pranati. The question is, as a fresher, what skill sets are required to get into a good company?
Okay, again, great question. The skill sets are, they haven't changed. What is required is, even much more intentionality. I don't know which industry you are looking to get into, but what the skills that you need to have are much more important now are the softer skills in terms of communication, in terms of your presentation skills. in terms of your analytical skills, in terms of your writing skills, analytical writing skills. So these are definitely skills which are required. More so because today you don't have a one-to-one interaction straight away. For example, if you're doing a certain analysis on any industry that you like, and then you're creating a paper, and then you are sharing it along with the organization or along people who are likely to be hiring, then the visibility of yours goes up dramatically. So I think softer skills are going to be as much important as your hard skills with respect to a particular industry or function.
Petition.
FMCG industry, again, within industry, there are many separate functions. For example, there is a sales department, there is a marketing department, there is a finance department, there is a logistics department, there is a customer service department. So each of these require, first of all, have you identified which particular sector that meet your skills? I'm sure some of you have specialized in one of these areas. So once you identify that, in FMCG, you can almost every organization on their India portal. For example, you can go to Google and then type out Unilever jobs, or career in Unilever, or career in Colgate, or career in Procter and Gamble. Each of them have a link. Separate where you can actually log in and then leave your credentials. There is usually an initial test, and if you clear that initial test, then you can actually apply for a particular job that interests you. So maybe what I can do is I can share for the top FMCG companies, I can share the portal links where you can write to. I can share it with Dr. Ramana, or so that he can probably share it further down. But that is usually the way you can approach the FMCG companies. And there is a lot of online hiring that is happening.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. The next question is, the senior management who are members in present LinkedIn, how do they believe the students' resumes?
See, almost every company, if I understand the question correctly, which senior members of these companies are on LinkedIn? Almost every organization and the only thing is whether you can get to have a two-way communication with them, which is extremely rare, because being very pressed for time, they won't have a lot of accepted connections. But what you can definitely do is follow them. If you can name one company, I can tell you that probably the top 5 or 10 leaders of that company will be on LinkedIn.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your information, sir. The next question is from V. Sudarshan. In this pandemic situation, students are not allowed to undergo for internship programs. So what are the job opportunities further in moderate interviews and expecting students to go these training programs?
Yeah, I think this is one of the challenges that is being faced by, like internships have also moved virtual. In fact, I know of currently interns working, but they have not met anybody in the company. nor they have visited the office. But then a lot of companies are going for online internships. You need, I think that is one area where when you write to career or jobs at the whichever company, you can specifically request for internships. Whether it translates into an acceptance immediately, I think that is something that you people need to keep trying. But my suggestion is to look at or approach companies which are within the geography that you are in. They may not be big companies, but please don't be under the impression that your internship needs to be done at a very fancy company or very, very popular company. Even if it is a smaller company, what is the power of your internship project? Have you come up with any real life solution? Have you worked on a real life problem and come up with a very real life solution? If that happens, you can actually share your internship learnings with companies which are bigger so that you can get an entry. And where you are not able to get any internship at all, my only advice is do your own research. Create a small research paper about COVID is an active topic. So you can actually check in terms of what has been the impact of COVID on one of the elements related to that company, whether it is selling or whether it is cash flow or whether it is profitability or whether it is HR or people practices. So you can do your own research and you can come up with a small research paper, and there are methods to publish those papers. So you can definitely make use of these platforms to make yourself seen and known.
Yeah, thank you so much for your detailed clarification, sir. The next question is from Dr. K. Lalita Madam. She gave her feedback in the form of question. Is there any courses or skills to support students and to develop the students to improve their skills, particularly in this pandemic situation?
There are, I think this is something probably I might have touched upon earlier. As you wait for your first job, how are you going to use this? This time is of very, very big essence. Thanks for asking that question. There are so many certificate courses which are being handled online. There are many companies, for example, LinkedIn itself has got many courses which are free. There are almost every edtech company, educational technology company, they have these online soft skill programs. Webinar, they are having many webinars where you can build your core strengths. So I think this is one area where you can productively utilize time rather than just simply waiting. This is where your planning preparation needs to be there. Once you have identified which area you want to get employed, to build certifications in that. For example, there are a lot of people are doing data analytics. Whoever has an interest in data and have the propensity towards IT. So I think that's a very, very big area of employment in the coming days. So analytics, AI, machine learning, I think these are not just buzzwords, but these are again areas which are going to have a lot of employment in the short term also. So you can look for certifications in these areas and do those courses, either free or paid. You can just look at those.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving clarification on this question. The next question, most of the students are asking about how to face interviews, how to get a job. Can you please provide some tips on projecting students to make the best possible way?
Yeah, in fact, Dr. Ramna was sharing this as well. I'll take probably around 2-3 minutes. In fact, this is usually a session by itself, but let me give in a very concise way what a structured interview looks like. Again, here also, if you go back to the previous slide, one of the things is Preparation is very important. Planning and preparation. Exactly the same thing applies for interview. There is something called context action result format. It is called CAR format. What is an interviewer looking for to understand during the interview process? Whether it is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, or 1 hour, they are trying to look at, if you are hired, what is it that you can contribute to the organization? What are the skill sets or what is the attitude you are bringing to the organization? How do they assess that? They assess that based on what you have done previously or what you are likely to do if given that challenge. So there are two types of questions that happen in interviews. One is in terms of, they may ask, tell me about a situation where you are faced with a challenge that and then how did you cope with that? It could be from your sports, it could be from your neighborhood, it could be from your family. In fact, let me just share one of the questions that when I asked this question, one of the responses, there was a student who said that because his father passed away while he was doing his post-graduation, his family was quite constrained for monetary support. So then he was actually sharing in terms of what are the various things that he had to do, various part-time activities, jobs that he had to take up to get that money. And then there are many stories which can come up, but then an interviewer will probe that further to confirm or to know whether it has really happened, and then what is it that he has learned during that. And when I asked him, he was able to give a very, very clear and then understanding or clear information about what what was his schedule, how did he split it between his studies and then his work, how much did he used to get, and then what he was trying to increase that. So as an interviewer, what impresses me in that is that despite the challenge, he is not somebody who is going to get bogged down by challenge. He is somebody who is trying to look forward and then try and do better things to to fulfill his ambitions, to support his family and near ones. So the context is that there was a challenge. The action is that he has done something. He has gone out and then found out opportunities where he can work and get money. And the result is that he was able to complete his studies while still managing everything else. So this is what, in very, very short form, I can tell you what context action result. Easy to remember, CAR format. So in your life also, it need not necessarily be loss of a person. For example, in a college, if you're a part of a college cricket team, and then you are facing a very strong team the next day. So what did you do still to put up a strong challenge? That can be one of the examples. Don't think that these are personal examples. Why will an interviewer ask that? No. As an interviewer who has done probably thousands of interviews in 3 organizations, I can tell you this is exactly the kind of questions that we want answers for. And then there are some hypothetical or what we call as behavioral tests and answers. So there we ask about, if you're part of a team and then if one member of your team is not performing as they should, so what do you do? So these are kind of questions that come up. So prepare on these lines for the interview. Have very clear understanding about your own self, your own strengths. What are your own weaknesses? Of course, you don't have to talk about your weaknesses in an interview, but if you have overcome them, you can talk, saying that a year back I used to have this this hesitation. Now over the last 1 year, I worked on it, and now I'm very good at presenting or speaking in front of 10 people. So these are all things that really count as initiative taking. I hope at least 1 or 2 points from this would be of use for you.
That was really informative, sir. Thank you so much. Moving to the next question. Being an MBA student, what programming languages? That means what are the software courses are preferred for students, sir?
See, as a, I think first thing that anybody would need to be very, very familiar with is, of course, the Microsoft suite. And then if you are looking at data analysis, etc., there are various things like Python, R. Those are languages. Again, it depends on where is your interest. If you are looking at just general management, general skills, then if your proficiency with Microsoft Office applications will be pretty good. In fact, Microsoft Excel, a lot of finance professionals, they don't use much more than Microsoft Excel because of the power that it has in itself. Of course, there are advanced levels within Microsoft Excel itself, but I would early on now, I would say, don't unless you want to go in a particular programming direction. I would not recommend you, going and studying or preparing with many languages unless you are trying to get into information technology related employment.
Thank you so much for your valuable information, sharing your ideas, sir. One more question from the students is, in this pandemic situation, these questions is from biological and agriculture students. Is there any job opportunity for agriculture students and biological students in this pandemic situation?
While honestly, I would not profess I have a lot of information about agriculture, but there are a lot of again, as I said, healthcare is one area where jobs are certainly open and up. Agriculture sector should also be, but it is also about hospital management, for example. That is another area with many governments opening health centers. During this pandemic, one thing that has come up is, while you create doctors, nurses, etc., it is also about management of the resources. Whether it is managing physical resources like oxygen, etc., or managing people resources. For example, people are working 24/7, the healthcare professionals. So how do you schedule them? There needs to be somebody who's taking all these decisions, right? So there are people who are, who are managing all this. So they are the hospital management. Of course, there are specialized courses in these, but at least this gives you a shot at when overnight, when there are so many opportunities, maybe not everybody is, coming with a specified qualification. So there is an opportunity that people are looking at the cross between biology and management. So I think from my let me say limited understanding, probably these are areas to pursue. But I can definitely say that these are two very good areas where business or economic activity is happening.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very informative and detailed clarification. Thank you very much. Moving to the next question. This question is from Ishwar. The question is, what sort of, how to make ourselves highly competitive and demanding?
Well, I thought, I have covered those during the earlier slides. You follow that, and you practice that regularly, and you will be one of those people in demand. Because while it is easy to say that, as they say, common sense is not so common. Same way, discipline is not something which is very common. Planning and approaching with a very well structured preparation is not very common. You do that, and you're already among the best in that group. So I can only say, you please practice that, practice those things that I mentioned. And as a recruiter or as a hiring manager, I can tell you, these are things that I'm looking for. Probably what I'm hiring for is with a lot of with some experience already, because those are the kind of roles. But there are many organizations which look for freshers, where they are looking for these these attitudes apart from the skills.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Shabana
Thank-
madam, sorry to break you. మీరు ఏదైనా
sir.
1 or 2 ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగి కంక్లూడ్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నం చేయండి మేడం.
Okay, sir.
Question like Shravan Purna has asked one question about HR, and then geology students కి జాబ్ ఎలా వస్తుందని ఒక స్టూడెంట్ అడిగాడు.
Yes, sir. Already.
Sir has already
question
answered about biology. Maybe because he is BSc geology, maybe the guest will be interested to answer that question. And there is one more question. Complete గా MBA ఇట్లాగే ఆన్లైన్ లో అయిపోతే మాకు ఇంటర్వ్యూలో ఏ క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతాడని ఒక క్వశ్చన్ ఉంది. 2 to 3 questions. Maybe we request the speaker to kindly allot one more, maybe another 5-10 minutes to complete this session. Yeah, over to you,
We're
madam.
at 45.
Maybe he's having some other meeting, so quick గా మీరు
You can go
అడగండి.
45. 45.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. This question is from Mahesh. The question is, tell me about yourself. It seems to be a very easy question, but it is very tricky. Can you please guide our students how to answer correctly and carefully?
Thank you. I think one of the things that I would say is preparation. Maybe I am saying what is usually a very well-known thing. The more preparation you have, look at this, you write an answer, you write down. For example, if there are common questions about yourself, so write down and then look at that the next day. And then you see if you are able to answer, or if you are able to answer confidently, you are able to say everything in a very precise manner. Because in an interview, you don't have a lot of time. So in 1 to 2 minutes, can you really define yourself? What are your interests? What is it that you are doing or you have done to justify them giving you the job instead of somebody else? So these are the things that you need to have answers for. And when I said committed discipline, I've used these words. Committed discipline means you write down, you go through that. I'm not asking you to by heart. I'm saying, look at them. It is like if I'm asking any one of you, what is your name? You don't have to think about it because you have said that 1,000 times. If I ask you, where do you study? You don't have to say anything. You don't have to think about it. Same way, first thing is know about yourself, because the interviewer is always trying to understand who are you and why are you suited for this job. These are the only 2 questions that he is trying to have answers for during the interview. So if you yourself are not clear, that is the first indication to an interviewer that probably he is not the best person. So the moment the interviewer is able to understand that, yes, these are, he knows fully about himself, he knows what he's doing and he knows why he is doing it, and he has got an idea about what to do further down. That shows that there is a clarity. And a management student and a manager definitely needs to have all these qualities. So this is probably one answer to many questions. Please be very, very intentional, very structured in your preparation. Practice it. Be like, it is like if somebody wakes you up from your sleep, ask these questions. You are surely answering them in the most confident way. That is what they are looking for.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to conclude this section with this last question. What type of companies are suitable to MBA HR students for job purpose in this pandemic situation? This question is from R. Shravanapurna.
Yes, Mona. In
Over
fact,
to you, sir.
HR is, through the pandemic, in fact, if there is one department or one function which has been at the forefront is HR. Every organization, whether it is doing better, not doing better, because organizations doing better, they were hiring, or organizations not doing better, they were re-looking at their organizations, trying to reduce the people. HR has got an activity at every moment. And communication, keeping people safe. All these activities are led by HR people. So if you have chosen HR as your destination, congratulations. I think that is one of the evergreen fields that would be there. Again, as I said, whether it is hiring or even reducing, HR is required. It is not just that an organization can take decision like this or implement that decision just like that. But if you are looking at the hiring organizations, growing organizations, it will be much better because the scope keeps improving. In fact, the sectors that I mentioned earlier, healthcare, FMCG, e-commerce, etc., those are sectors, those are areas where they continue to hire people and manage people. So HR will always have a role to play.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the resource person for enlightening us. With all your experience, sir, it is in fact need of the hour topic, sir. To an end of question section that was highly knowledge sharing session. Our students are really lucky to get the knowledge from expert like you, sir. Thank you very much for being so patient in answering all the questions.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and thanks for the kind words. And because of this session, anyone getting their first job while preparing with this, I'd be the happiest person, and it is my privilege to be speaking to my fellow students a few years later.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I'd like to hand over the session to Manish, sir. Over to you, sir. Manish, sir.
Now I request our principal, sir, Dr. S.V. Ramana garu, to give his message. Over to principal, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I must congratulate the alumni of Hindu College, Mr. Ramesh, for that extraordinary smooth way of presentation. I got a call from the university professor also that the content is very good and program is going on very well. So that's one indication. And another indication for the performance of the speaker is lot many questions were kept in the chat box by the students. Maybe I must say that in the previous lockdown, we have conducted about 35 webinars, and this is the fourth webinar we are doing, our fourth or fifth webinar we are doing in this second phase of working from home. But this many questions we have not got for any presentation for any webinar. That indicates that the message has gone well to the students. My congratulations to that. We only hope that once the situation becomes all right, he must be able to visit his college and address the students personally, and should explore the chances of helping the students, few of the students at least, to get the right connections so that they'll be performing well in the interviews with the training given by you in the present day. So with this, I once again thank the person for having given his enormous experience into a small capsule and trying to enlighten the students. We'll be in touch with that speaker, and our students also will be in touch with him through the LinkedIn. We'll put our best effort to see that more and more students open their accounts in the LinkedIn. So glad for the program that has happened. Back to Manish.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now I request Professor Dr. K. Lalitha garu to extend greetings. Over to Lalitha madam.
Thank you, Manish sir. Good afternoon to one and all. It is not merely greeting. Already our principal sir and senior faculty extended greeting. It is a feeling of extending gratitude to the speaker who has spent already 1 hour and 45 minutes patiently with us by explaining how to explore job opportunities and succeed in critical pandemic situation to our students and all the participants. At the outset, I would I feel proud to say that the speaker at the beginning introduced himself as alumnus of Hindu College. I proudly say he is the brand ambassador of Hindu College. And he explained about how to get a job in this pandemic situation. Any situation will last in 1 or 2 years, a few months also. So the only thing which a person who seeks employment is to have certain skills to exhibit, to explore and succeed. These are all the things which a person has to do in the near future. For this, he has given a beautiful 15 steps for an effective job search with the example of LinkedIn. Thank you, sir, for your good, I cannot say it is as a good, it is a very awesome presentation today given to our students, and almost all the participants have really gained good knowledge about how to tackle the pandemic situation in the job market. And thank you once again, sir, for your patient answering of all the lengthiest questions which were asked by the participants. And I extend the thanks to all the dignitaries who really joined today and make the webinar a good, smooth going success, and all the participants and also all the students. Not but not least, it is a common factor to extend our thanks to our team leader, Principal of Hindu College of Management, Dr. S.V. Ramana garu, and the coordinator of the webinars, Sri Manish sir, and all my dear faculty fraternity and students. Last but not least, I extend my thanks to Dr. Subbarao sir, Principal of PG College. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Over to Manish sir.
Thank you, madam.
సార్ మనీష్ సార్, మన
Sir, yes, sir.
శివరాం ప్రసాద్ గారు ఉన్నారా సార్? సార్ చెక్ చేస్తారా?
Sir, late, sir.
ఓకే సార్, యూ కెన్ కంక్లూడ్ అండ్ ఎండ్ ద మీటింగ్ సార్.
Thank you very much, Ramesh Kumar garu. Thanks for your
It's my
valuable-
privilege. My privilege and all the
message.
very best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks to all the participants, dignitaries, delegates, and faculty and student fraternity from Hindu group of institutions and other institutions also. Thank you. Thank you, one and all, for gracing this occasion and making the event a grand success. Good luck to all of you. Have a good day. Thank you, sir. Have a good day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I am ending the meeting, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thanks for your efforts, sir. Thanks to Mr. Ramesh Kumar, and also thanks to Acharya Nagarjuna University Department of Commerce for the collaboration what they have extended to us. Thank you. Please end the meeting, sir.
Okay, sir.